The Iraqi Dinar today latest news. For years, the global community watching the trajectory of the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and the Zimbabwe Zim has navigated a landscape of speculation, anticipation, and frequent unverified claims. Today, however, we are diving into a narrative suggesting a fundamental shift, moving the discussion away from mere potential and into the realm of confirmed operational infrastructure. This moment represents what many holders have long waited for: the transition of deeply held theories into tangible, functional realities within the international financial architecture. The most compelling reports currently circulating focus on the alleged activation of a specialized global exchange portal, a system reportedly designed for the unique redemption requirements of these specific currency assets. The core of this information is its insistence that what was once a subject of widespread debate among skeptics has now become a deployed, real-world mechanism, signifying the end of the long preparation phase and the commencement of active execution. The infrastructure being discussed is far more than a simple online bulletin board or a static web page. It is described as a fully functional, active digital environment. Emerging information suggests that this long, anticipated exchange interface is now live, accessible to individuals who have been formally verified and issued the correct credentials. Users are reportedly logging in, actively scheduling necessary appointments, and gaining visibility into specific exchange rates, dynamically displayed within their secure, personalized dashboards. For the dedicated community of holders who have demonstrated remarkable persistence through years marked by economic volatility, procedural uncertainty, and constant scrutiny, this development is being positioned as a definitive signal. It marks the long-awaited moment when the strategic planning period is concluding and the critical execution phase is officially underway, validating the enduring belief in a historic financial transition. The scope of this reported event clearly transcends the simplicity of a routine currency exchange at a local financial institution. The prevailing narrative emphasizes that what is unfolding is a complex, meticulously orchestrated financial transition on a global scale. This process, by all accounts, demands strict adherence to precise timing protocols, compliance with complex legal and regulatory obligations, and a sophisticated understanding of the underlying financial mechanisms involved. Sources familiar with the ongoing activities describe this moment as a transformative pivot point, a development that requires a level of detailed awareness far surpassing that of standard, everyday banking transactions. The event is characterized as a historic transformation within the global financial system, unfolding in real time, which necessitates a comprehensive grasp of various rate structures and the specific compliance measures required for participation. A critical component of the information stream involves clarifying the intricate details of access to this activated system. The current updates aim to precisely define the qualifications required for access, the specific sequence of steps involved in the entire process, and the sophisticated operational mechanics that are running behind the public-facing interface of this global rollout. Late last night, distinct and highly specific reports began to surface regarding an internal, confidential banking memorandum. This document has purportedly served as the official validation that the Dinar, Dong, and Zim communities have been waiting years for, transforming speculation into documented reality. The memo is said to detail the formal deployment of a secure, global exchange portal, explicitly distinguishing it from any previous, limited soft launch or test phase. This dedicated system is described as purpose-built and now fully operational, specifically configured to manage the highly particular and distinct redemption requirements associated with these exotic currency assets. For the first time, community discussions are reportedly shifting away from unverified hearsay and focusing on documented evidence of actual user interaction with the system's interface. This evolution, from private, unconfirmed whispers to tangible reports of live user engagement, signals a crucial turning point in the overall narrative, strongly suggesting that the digital and logistical infrastructure is now fully prepared to handle high volume processing and transaction flow. This readiness is a key indicator of the system's maturity and its ability to support a global scale operation. According to the specific, detailed reports now available, select holders who have been pre-verified, meaning they possess registered asset reports and validated currency serial numbers, have already been granted initial, early access to the functional system. These individuals are reportedly moving rapidly through the preliminary stages of the process. Information is surfacing from several global regions, including major financial hubs in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia, confirming that secure login credentials are being issued to those who meet the rigorous qualification criteria. These reports detail a thorough and multi-layered procedure where biometric verifications are actively taking place, and controlled financial dashboards are now dynamically displaying the live, fluctuating exchange rates to the verified users. The activated portal is characterized as being significantly more complex and secure than a typical public website. It is described as a hardened, encrypted digital infrastructure featuring advanced technological safeguards, including precise IP tracking, geographic filtering capabilities, and mandatory, multi-factor authentication protocols to ensure the maximum possible level of security and integrity for all transactions. Within this highly secure digital ecosystem, verified users are reportedly engaged in a series of mandatory verification tasks. These tasks include the secure uploading of government-issued identification documents, the meticulous verification of currency serial numbers against a master database, and the crucial selection of their preferred financial institution for the ultimate redemption. A crucial procedural step repeatedly highlighted in these circulating reports is the absolute requirement for participants to sign a non-disclosure agreement, or NDA, before any tier-based rate information is released or even becomes visible. This legally binding agreement is mandatory for accessing the specific details of the process. Reports suggest that encrypted communication channels across various platforms are now filled with anecdotal evidence of this activity, including blurred screenshots of confirmed, scheduled appointments, and digital confirmations of secured redemption slots. The pervasive sentiment across the community is now that this entire process is no longer a theoretical exercise. The system is demonstrably active, confirmed by user interactions, and the pace of processing is accelerating rapidly across numerous international jurisdictions. Confirmation of this intense activity is reportedly being sourced not only from independent community insiders, but also from contacts connected directly to major Tier 1 banks operating within the United States. Reputable financial institutions such as Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America are said to have initiated the handling of high-priority VIP appointment requests, specifically catering to the needs of high-volume holders of the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, and Zimbabwe Zim. The narrative consistently stresses that these are not mere hypothetical scenarios. Instead, they are described as real, confirmed appointments involving meticulously scheduled private desk consultations and verified communication streams, underscoring the serious and active nature of the operation. This significant and visible involvement from major, established banking institutions suggests a highly coordinated and professional effort is underway. The goal is clearly to efficiently and securely manage the anticipated influx of high-volume redemption requests in a controlled, confidential, and professional environment. Furthermore, the circulating information suggests that access is not exclusively limited to the so-called whales or largest holders within the community. Reports indicate that smaller volume holders are also successfully gaining entry, provided they strictly adhere to the rigorous and proper redemption procedures meticulously outlined by the operational system. This suggests a broad, yet controlled, approach to the global rollout. Sources intimately familiar with internal bank operations, including reports from former employees and banking consultants, have revealed that dedicated internal staff have been undergoing intensive, specialized training for a period of several weeks. This training reportedly covers a wide range of highly specific topics: the precise authentication procedures for exotic currencies, the nuanced management of the NDA process, compliance with all relevant regulatory rules, and specific wealth management procedures that have been custom-tailored for this unique financial event. Some bank branches are reportedly extending their normal operating hours, while others have established completely private, dedicated redemption rooms to ensure the maximum level of privacy and security for all high-volume clients. The undeniable urgency surrounding this large-scale rollout is a major, recurring theme in the current updates. Multiple major financial institutions are reportedly restricting high-tier appointment windows to a highly specific and limited set of dates between now and late November 2025. There are circulating discussions about a potential hard cutoff date around November 26th in certain specific districts, which generates a palpable sense that any significant delay in participation could result in major missed opportunities. The prevailing narrative explicitly cautions that a failure to complete the necessary complex documentation on time could potentially lead to the loss of access to the upper-tier rate structures or even a complete lockout from the active system. This time sensitivity underscores the critical importance of maintaining preparedness and being ready to act immediately upon eligibility. A thorough understanding of the technical functioning of the portal is described as absolutely crucial for anyone seeking to successfully navigate this intricate process. The system is characterized not as a simple login page, but as a highly structured, multi-layer verification pipeline meticulously engineered to filter out any potentially fraudulent claims. The initial, mandatory step reportedly involves the secure entry of currency serial numbers, which are instantly authenticated against a massive, continuously updated global database. Following this, users are required to upload a valid government-issued identification document, and in specific regions, they must also submit to advanced biometric checks, such as facial recognition or fingerprint confirmation to secure their identity. Only once a user's identity has been unequivocally and securely locked in by the system does the interface proceed to display a list of eligible banking institutions located near the user's geographical region, which then permits the selection of a specific preferred redemption location. A paramount aspect of this entire multi-stage process is the non-negotiable requirement for a digitally signed non-disclosure agreement. Users must formally sign this legally binding document, which is mandatory for accessing any premium exchange tiers. Only after these rigorous prerequisites are fully satisfied do the live dynamic rates and the tools for scheduling appointments finally become visible on the user's dashboard, ensuring security and compliance at every step. Every single action taken within this advanced digital portal is meticulously recorded and is fully auditable, a feature that ensures both transparency and the utmost security. The system itself is reportedly constructed to the highest institutional security standards, a design choice that reflects the sheer magnitude of the financial value being processed and the critical necessity to protect both the involved financial institutions and the participating individuals. The most widely discussed and eagerly anticipated feature of this newly activated portal is undoubtedly its sophisticated, tier-based rate model, which is a significant departure from standard foreign exchange practices. Unlike the static foreign exchange postings typically seen at a travel bureau or kiosk, the rates within this portal are said to adjust dynamically and instantly based on a complex array of variable factors. These factors reportedly include the specific currency type, the total aggregate amount held by the user's current geographical location, any referrals they may possess, and their proven participation in approved humanitarian or structured development programs. The difference in value between these various tiers can reportedly translate into a massive difference in overall redemption value for the holder. Verified reports continue to circulate, indicating that Iraqi Dinar rates could fluctuate significantly, with the highest tiers offering values that substantially exceed the current street rate, particularly in highly active regions like Texas. Similarly, the Vietnamese Dong is reportedly registering variable exchange rates depending directly on the volume threshold that the individual holder has met, while specific Series 1T notes of the Zimbabwe Zim are seeing distinct exchange values at selected banks that have been authorized for bulk redemptions. The narrative then takes a deeper, more complex turn when discussing the secretive, shadowed architecture of the global nexus system. Access to the highest, most exclusive contract pathways is described not as an automatic right for currency holders, but rather as a privilege that is specifically bestowed upon a select few. Gaining entry to these advanced levels reportedly necessitates more than just the mere holding of the physical currency assets. It reportedly demands verifiable proof of contribution, demonstrated financial discipline, and a clear alignment with sanctioned macroeconomic initiatives, often referred to as structured development projects. Invitations to these highly exclusive tiers are said to arrive without any prior warning, frequently manifesting as encrypted, deep-channel communications embedded within highly secure networks. Every candidate who is formally accepted into this fold is immediately bound by strict, comprehensive confidentiality accords, with non-disclosure agreements sealed using advanced biometric signatures. These agreements are portrayed as legally and digitally binding, echoing through every financial system the candidate subsequently interacts with. The consequences for breaching any of the detailed protocols are reportedly severe. A single failure to attend a scheduled appointment or any unauthorized leak of sensitive information can result in the Nexus system instantaneously retracting all access and surgically removing the individual from the established eligibility grid. Behind the seemingly public facade of financial stability, the level of strategic preparation is described as truly staggering. Off-record testimonies from infrastructure analysts and internal observers detail months of highly accelerated, specialized training conducted within major, established banking dynasties globally. Reports continue to surface of newly created, highly specific job titles appearing quietly within internal recruitment postings, roles such as Nexus Liaison, Temporal Compliance Officer, and Tier 4 Strategist. Internal memos are reportedly circulating in sealed, secure channels, meticulously outlining complex new procedures for the processing of exotic asset redemptions using quantum-backed authentication keys, strongly hinting at a major technological leap in how these assets are both verified and professionally managed. The overall narrative suggests that while the broader world may believe its established financial institutions are frozen in routine operations, a seismic, fundamental shift is actively underway beneath the surface. This transition is described as a meticulous, globally coordinated restructuring of how value, power, and economic opportunity will flow across continents in the future. Reports suggest that only a very select group of individuals truly understands how close the world is to crossing an irreversible financial threshold. International oversight coalitions, such as the mysterious Meridian Forum and the Continental Stability Directory, are said to have mobilized massive economic modeling engines to closely track unprecedented fluctuations that are now clearly rippling across this new financial grid. These powerful oversight entities are reportedly not passively observing. They are running massive-scale predictive simulations to analyze liquidity surges and track complex, cross-institutional behavior. The movement of high-val, redemption packets across the encrypted network is being monitored with intense scrutiny. What is reportedly causing alarm among these professional observers is not a sign of financial destabilization, but rather the sheer, incredible level of coordination demonstrated. The absolute synchronization of activities across continents that have historically resisted cooperation strongly suggests a global, unified alignment that has been years, if not decades, in the planning and execution stages. This shift is genuinely global, affecting sovereign districts and private financial enclaves that are actively upgrading their core systems to fully accommodate these new authentication and processing measures. Specific geographical regions mentioned in these confidential reports, such as the Verdant Peninsula, the Aran Collective, and the Spiral Gulf, are reportedly upgrading their internal systems to embed these advanced authentication measures directly into their asset identification nodes. Banking enclaves in areas referred to as the Helen Corridor and the Sapphire Emirates are quietly opening private, secure access chambers for holders who have been vetted and approved for holding sanctioned value certificates. Meanwhile, other dominant nations have initiated phased rollout tests using controlled, sandboxed economic environments to safely observe real-time redemptions before authorizing expansion to a national scale, indicating a careful, staged approach to this massive global financial recalibration. Behind the scenes, sophisticated cross-border synchronization protocols, reportedly built upon quantum thread work and adaptive API relays, are enabling the instantaneous auditability of every single transaction that occurs. Even legendary, powerful funds like the Aurora Sovereign Fund have reportedly begun actively evaluating brand new asset positions within these revitalized districts. This current moment is consistently framed, not as an isolated, single event, but as the first comprehensive global economic recalibration to occur in centuries. Every nation capable of sensing the gravity of this impending shift is actively positioning itself to successfully survive and eventually thrive in the inevitable financial aftershock that will reshape the world's delicate balance of wealth and influence for generations to come. The flood of first-hand, specific experiences regarding this profound shift began as a mere trickle of odd, whispered stories within private networks. But now, confirmations are reportedly multiplying rapidly. There have been accounts of a retired strategist from the North Meridian Warfront who reported successfully connecting to the Nexus interface for the very first time using what was described as an obsolete console. After successfully completing a series of complex cognitive harmonic steps and submitting a necessary biometric oath, the system reportedly granted him a private appointment where he successfully executed a high-tier contract exchange using rare helium notes, with his full allocation transferred to a vault account within 24 hours. In a separate, equally compelling instance reported from the Western Quadrants, a systems engineer in the California Expanse reportedly accessed an advanced tier through a unique humanitarian projection network. The Nexus system, in this case, provided her with an on-site, fully staffed legal array, staffed with synthetic counsel units, to help meticulously organize her future trusts and complex tax shields. These stories, which are often accompanied by validated screenshots that the Nexus protocol automatically blurs for privacy protection, continue to pour into encrypted message channels. The emotional weight of this is described as intense, representing the long-awaited culmination of a decade. Long wait for many who firmly believe the world is currently on the verge of a monumental and irreversible shift. For those individuals who currently hold sanctioned value certificates, such as Verdant Marks and Zamari bonds, the period of passive waiting is officially reported to be over. The Nexus has demonstrably entered its execution phase, and proactive preparation is now considered a non-negotiable requirement for any advancement within the system. Participants are strongly advised to meticulously inventory every physical certificate, accurately log their quantum serial patterns, and fully document all ownership chain histories in detail. They are also encouraged to discreetly contact their wealth operatives, as absolute discretion itself is now reportedly a metric actively used by the system to evaluate eligibility and sincerity. The establishment of fully isolated financial accounts, dedicated solely to receiving these massive allocations, has rapidly become a widespread, mandatory strategic practice. Legal experts and financial architects, particularly those with specialized training in interjurisdictional allocation structures, are being consulted in record numbers across the globe. Participants are confirming and documenting every step privately, fully aware that precision, organization, and a lack of ambiguity will ultimately determine their success in the process. The Nexus system is uniformly described as a mechanism that heavily rewards meticulous preparedness and maintains zero tolerance for any sign of chaos, disorganization, or procedural errors. The sophisticated security protocols embedded within the digital interface are reportedly unlike anything ever constructed by traditional human institutions. They subject each and every login attempt to multi-layer scanning, geographical triangulation, and even emotional state verification. Using micro-fluctuations in neural impulses, in certain sensitive jurisdictions, the system reportedly demands a full biometric resonance alignment before it will even display the preliminary access interface to the user. Non-disclosure agreements are woven directly into the fabric of the system's access code, and any violation of their terms instantly triggers an immediate and permanent lockout from the portal. Every single user action generates a unique, encrypted quantum hash, which is securely stored across decentralized nodes, a measure designed to ensure that no single, complete trail can ever be successfully reconstructed by unauthorized analysts. The entire system is described as almost sentient in its unwavering vigilance, granting secure access only to those who demonstrate the highest level of respect for its rigorous boundaries and protocols. Advanced tiers are portrayed as highly immersive cognitive environments, often custom, shaped around the individual user's psychological profile, offering specialized opportunities that extend far beyond simple, immediate financial gain and into long-term strategic wealth management. Finally, we must specifically address the unique opportunity reportedly surfacing regarding the Zamari bonds. Long considered financial outliers by many, these bonds are now reportedly discovering that their true embedded value within the Nexus ecosystem is far greater than had been previously anticipated. Tied directly to complex reconstruction agreements, these bonds contain unique embedded signatures that align perfectly with specific humanitarian pathways outlined in the global plan. High-level financial desks are now offering enhanced, specialized pathways for these specific holders, provided they can furnish authenticated purchase logs. The current window for these highly advantageous opportunities is currently open, but is reportedly shrinking rapidly as the Nexus finalizes its internal recalibration metrics in preparation for an upcoming global convergence event. This is the moment the community has diligently waited for. Stay alert, maintain discipline, and be fully ready to execute.